The Young and the Uneasy next week's spoilers include a startling admission from Courtney Hope's character Sally Spectra, and the pivotal choice made by Kate Fairbanks' character Tessa Porter. The most recent Y and R spoilers for the week of September 29th are available here. We will begin by discussing Sally's confessions and who she is confessing to. By the end of this week, it appears like Jason Thompson's character Billy Abbott finally figured out what was going on, and he begs Sally Spectra, Courtney Hope, to reconcile rather than abandon their relationship. "I apologize, but I don't think Billy should take back the retaliation." However, he argued that Sally was the most significant person in his life. Billy promises to put her first, quit playing games of vengeance, get the money back for Abacom, and work for Sally at their new company. In spite of everything, Sally did believe it when Billy went through all of this. Over drinks at the Jazz Lounge, Billy quickly put their relationship back on track. He insisted on picking Sally over Chancellor while raising a toast to her. Billy is aware that in order to prove himself and keep Sally, he must give up all of this. She so advised him to never again rank her second or third. He understands and responds to her by saying, "No, I'm picking you. I'm turning my back on everything." Sally notices that Billy suddenly says the appropriate things and seems to be obsessed with her, rather than seeking retribution. He refuses to part with her. Billy is also urging Sally to move in with him, but she is wise enough to want to take her time. It's kind bit stupid of her, but Billy does get her back in bed. She does care about him, after all. Therefore, it appears that Sally and Billy are currently in agreement and headed for a happy ending. However, according to official Young and the Restless spoilers for next week, Sally is on a video conversation with Billy's mother, Jill Abbott, Jess Walton, suggesting that things are about to go horribly wrong between them once more. We've probably never witnessed them acting in such a manner, unless it was for work-related purposes. That is the person to whom Sally is confessing. She wants to tell Jill two things. Sally declares her love for Billy at the outset. The news that he has a girlfriend in his life will undoubtedly make Jill pleased. Sally then informs Jill that they are facing a serious issue. Therefore, the likelihood that Billy won't already lose his mind is very low. Perhaps Sally is simply trying to alert Jill to the fact that Billy Flynn's character, Kane Ashby, has a terrible AI and is a danger to Billy and other people Jill loves. Perhaps Sally is merely calling her for information. Or perhaps Billy has already made a mistake. We will need to wait and see. Let's now discuss Michael Baldwin, Christian Leblanc, with whom Kane has a serious conversation at the close of this week after Kane turns down Victor Newman's Eric Braeden, extortion and the mustache leaves. Despite knowing why Victor was there, Michael is acting foolishly. Kane informs him that he turned down a proposal offered by Victor. Michael then claims that Victor forewarned him against working with Kane, and he queries whether Victor was correct in doing so. In addition, Michael is inquiring about Kane's strategy, and if he views himself as a hero or a villain. Michael avoids answering the issue by stating that everyone is concerned about what Kane will do to the leading businesses in Genoa City. The lawyer eventually admits to Kane that he doesn't want him to harm the people he loves about as Kane continues to urge him. "Stop it, or I will stop you," Michael cautions Kane. "Are you doing these things to try and impress Lily Winters?" Michael asks him. Kane fires Michael after claiming that he is not who he believed him to be. When Kane sees Michael working against him, he refuses to pay him. Kane acknowledges that he respects Michael as a guy. Nevertheless, he understands the motivation behind his actions, but he will not allow him to undermine and sabotage him. Michael tells Kane that he will fight him and won't allow him to target the individuals that are important to him. He informs him that he will be working against Kane from the outside, if not the inside, even if he is not employed by him. Next week, it appears that Lauren Fenmore, Tracy Bregman, is having a moment, even if Michael received the heave-ho from Kane. She's been overextended. Lauren became calmer after Michael came clean and admitted that he took this job with Kane in order to keep the peace and prevent a conflict in Genoa City, even if she still believed he was lying. However, Lauren is venting with her friend Nikki Newman, played by Melody Thomas Scott, the following week. She is really unhappy. Lauren tells Nikki that although she truly loves Michael, she is unsure if she can continue in this manner. Lauren doesn't seem to approve of Michael being controlled by a strong villain. Whether that villain is Victor or Kane, who, curiously, seems to consider himself the story's hero, is irrelevant. I wonder if Nikki will let Lauren know that Jack Abbott, played by Peter Bergman, has offered Victor a truce and asked him to assist in pursuing Kane. For Lauren to go too far, something has to happen with Michael. Perhaps he announces that he is no longer employed by Kane when he gets home. However, Michael might tell Lauren what he told Kane, that he will continue to target him before she can take out the champagne. He will continue to work against him, but Michael will do so without receiving anything from Kane or Victor. It seems that things are becoming somewhat disorganized. I sincerely hope Lauren settles down and that she and Michael make it through this. I'm crossing my fingers. Okay, next. Although we haven't seen Sharon Case, in a while, she will be in scenes with Tessa the next week. In a significant plot point, Sharon and Nick Newman, played by Joshua Morrow, travel to Los Angeles to visit their son Noah Newman, Lucas Adams. 3 new individuals are introduced at a major plot point, and Noah finds himself in danger while starting a club in Los Angeles. However, the coffee shop owner talks to her daughter-in-law Tessa before Sharon and Nick travel to Los Angeles the following week. Sharon is telling Tessa that perhaps she ought to think a little more about what she's suggesting. Tessa informs Sharon that she has only considered this. This obviously relates to the conversation between Maria Copeland, Cameron Grimes, and Daniel Romalotti, Michael Graziadei. After that, Daniel and Tessa discussed Maria's attempted murder. It wasn't self-defense, and Maria wants Daniel to keep an eye on them since she's leaving town and is unsure if she'll return. We have witnessed Maria's kid become irate and threaten to cut Sharon out of her life whenever Sharon has attempted to encourage her to open up to her. At least she is conversing with someone. Although Maria has already pushed Tessa away, it appears that her wife will make one final attempt to keep things together. Tessa informs Sharon that the best way to salvage Maria and their marriage might be to seek answers. I'm assuming this has to do with Tessa's intention to visit the hotel where Maria is staying, probe and attempt to get answers regarding what exactly transpired, why it occurred, and what's going on. Next week promises to be a maelstrom of emotions, secrets, and life-altering choices that will have viewers of the young and the restless riveted to their screens. Genoa City's streets are rarely calm. In the forthcoming episodes, Tessa Porter takes a career and personal decision, so daring that it upends the dynamics of those closest to her, while Sally Spectra's bombshell confession shakes the basis of her relationships. Drama, desire, and tough decisions are once again depicted on Genoa City's canvas as alliances change and emotions erupt. Sally Spectra has always been on the precipice between fragility and ambition. She reaches a breaking point the following week, at which point she can no longer remain silent. She has been troubled for weeks by rumors about her previous decisions, her complex relationships with Adam and Nick Newman, and her frantic attempt to make a name for herself in Genoa City. Sally decides she can no longer hide her secret in a sequence that is extremely emotional. Her hands shake a little as she braces herself for what has to be spoken as she sits across from Nick. Her confession is about a choice she made in private that may permanently alter Nick's perception of her. Not only her lingering love for Adam, as she confesses that she let herself be taken by Adam once more in a moment of weakness, a moment she had attempted to bury but is now unable to do so. The tension in the room erupts. As she expresses how deeply confused she is, Sally's voice breaks. "Nick, I wanted to think I was past it. My future was you. However, a part of me, a portion I detest acknowledging, is still connected to Adam." Nick reacts with a mix of anger, hurt, and bewilderment. Phyllis, Sharon, and his father Victor's constant machinations have all burnt him before. It pierces old scars to hear this from Sally, someone he truly wanted to believe in. The deafening quiet that follows her revelation will reverberate throughout the Newman family as Nick wonders if he can forgive her or even if he wants to. However, Nick is not the only person impacted by Sally's confession. Word eventually reaches Adam, and even though he has made an effort to avoid him, learning that Sally still feels the same way about him makes him even more determined. Adam is drawn back into a destructive cycle he believed he had broken, and it serves as both affirmation and temptation. Amid the meantime, Sally finds herself standing amid the wreckage of her integrity, unsure if her confession will bring her salvation or ruin. Tessa Porter is prepared to change her own fate, while Sally's world falls apart beneath the weight of reality. Even those closest to her are shocked by the leap she takes after months of juggling motherhood, marriage, and music. Next week, Tessa makes the announcement that she will accept a once-in-a-lifetime offer from a major record label to go on a world tour. Although it's everything she's ever wanted, the timing is extremely difficult. Tessa's choice seems both exciting and worrisome, because Aria is still very young and her marriage to Maria is in jeopardy. Maria is caught off guard. Anger is her initial response. How can you even think about leaving at this time? You're talking about taking a plane around the world when we're just beginning to get along with Aria. Maria accuses Tessa of pursuing celebrity at the expense of their family, but Tessa maintains that this is about giving them all a future, which exacerbates their tension. There is an additional layer though. Tessa's action is about regaining a part of herself, not just about music. She worries losing her identity since she has spent so much time being cautious, nurturing, and meticulous. She is reminding herself that she is more than just a mother and a partner by re-entering the spotlight. Genoa City is shaken by her statement. Ever the same voice, Sharon advises Maria to stand by Tessa, cautioning her that obstructing her goal could further split their marriage. Devon and Abby both share their opinions, with Devon providing industry knowledge and Abby arguing against the potential stress that long-distance travel may cause. The most moving scene is when Tessa, her voice hurting from the weight of her choice, performs an impromptu rendition of a new ballad at Society. The audience is left in stunned silence by the words, which are replete with themes of longing and sacrifice. For Tessa, it's a statement of independence rather than merely a show. The question that remains is whether Maria will be able to